Good morning. Today we discuss about the proportional controllers. Okay, in the last class we discussed about the different types of controllers and a bit of proportional controller. So generally the proportional controller, as we told that it can be defined as the error which is going to be produced. The error which is going to be produced is proportional to the manipulated signal. So in this we can say we can write the manipulated signal, or you can say controller output. Controller output is equal to, say, we can say manipulated signal. We can say m of t. Okay, m of t, and then error signal, which you can write as e of t. E of t. So if I write a block diagram which represents the proportional controller, so this is the error detector, and this is the error generated, E of t, and here is a controller. We can call it as a proportional controller. Okay, we can call it as a proportional controller. Then this is going to be your m of t, actuating signal, or manipulated signal or actuating signal. So this here I am going to give the feedback signal, that is called as b of t, which you can call as feedback signal. And this is going to be your R of t, reference input R of t, which will be given as, and it can be given feedback will be negative or positive feedback. So here I'll just mention the negative feedback. And as I told that the definition, the proportional controller, the output of a controller, that is m of t, the m of t is proportional to the E of t, directly proportional to the error generated. So in the mathematical expression, it's nothing but in this manipulated signal or a controller output signal, which is going to be proportional to the input of the controller. What is the input of the controller? That is E of t. So m of t is proportional to E of t. So when I take out the constant of proportionality, I can get m of t is equal to kp into E of t. So when I apply the Laplace transformation, on both sides, I'm going to get, means L of f of t is equal to capital F of s. So based on that, I can write m of s is equal to kp into E of s. So I can take the proportional gain value, which is equal to kp is equal to m of s divided by E of s. So with this, I can say the controller. So the proportional controller, where the proportional gain, the proportional means the relation between the m of t and E of t. If I draw a curve, so I'm going to get a constant curve like this. Okay, I'm going to get the like this. So that is, say for example, this is E of t, and then m of t. If I plot a curve between this m of t and E of t, because it is a constant proportionality. So that proportional gain will be taken like this. Okay. So a linear relation between, that's what here the linear relation is going to exhibit. And if you look at this, the controller output has characteristics where the controller output, if I write m of t is equal to kp into E of t, when I include the initial conditions, means when the zero error is also included, then I can write this m of t is equal to kp into E of t plus m naught. M naught is going to talk about here when the controller output is for zero error. So m naught is nothing but controller output for zero error. So and you can say system is stable in nature. System will become stable in nature in this case of proportional controller. And also we can say there is always steady state error exists. And as I told that the controller output is equal to the m naught when the error is become zero. So if the A of t will become 0, E of t, when the E of t will become 0 here, then m of t will become m naught. M of t will become m naught. So this is about the proportional controller, and it has a disadvantage. Produces the offset error always. Produces the offset error always. So if you look at here, this is what we have discussed here, and the error is always represented in the form of proportional band. So we can call it as proportional band. Proportional band is equal to 100 by kp proportional gain. Okay, and then we can say. And C, for example, he has taken the C unit step input, how the as the time changes, how the output variable is going to be. So this is what the proportional gain, which is going to be gained in the case of unit step input. Unit step input. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of this controller? So advantages, if you look at here. So advantage of this controller is it helps in reducing the steady state error. So as we told that there is a steady state error which present in any system, so that it tries to help the reducing the steady state error, and so that it makes the system more stable. And also the slow response of the overdamped system can be made faster with the help of these controllers. So the say in the overdamped systems, so the response of the system will become slow. So in order to improve the response of the system, in order to improve the response of the system, we can use this proportional controller so that it gives the faster response with this controller, with the help of these controllers. And disadvantage of this proportional controller is due to presence of these controllers, there is always, as we discussed, offset error is present always. So what is the offset error here? So offset error in the sense, say for example, if I given a system which is going to be having, say, this is a, so if I draw a response of a system, if I draw a response of a system, so which is called as response of a system as the time, say with respect to time. So with respect to time, if I draw, so there is a desired output. This is called desired output, and as the time increases, then the response of the system is going to be like this. So here, if you look at, there is a small difference between this is called as a steady state error or offset error. We can call it as offset error. So it is this major disadvantage of this is going to be is always produce a offset error. These kind of proportional controllers, is going to produce offset error. So, and the proportional controllers also increases the maximum overshoot of the system. So in the case of oscillatory system, so here if you talk about this point, okay, so proportional controllers also increase the maximum overshoot of the system. What is meant by maximum overshoot of the system in sense? So this is the behavior of the curve. If I talk about this is exponential behavior of the curve. Exponential behavior of the curve. So if I have a sinusoidal, kind of like this, okay, so then this is the desired output and there is an offset here. So this is at the beginning, as the time increases, this is called response of the system or CFS. So this is called as maximum overshoot, means it is going the actual value, say for example 1 volt, if it is reaching the maximum of 5 volt in the initially, say this is what you can call as maximum overshoot. So initially it should not be reached to the high value and then coming back to this to the setting as a steady state value. So that because of this proportional controllers, this maximum overshoot will be increases. The maximum overshoot will be increases. So that is the disadvantages which we have discussed in the proportional control. So that's what here it talks about. So proportional controllers also increase the maximum overshoot of the system. Okay, right. Coming to the next, integral controllers of the system. So integral controller, when we are going to use the integral controller mode is in the sense, say for example, as we discussed in the proportional controller, in the proportional controller, we discussed just now, the proportional controller is going to be reduces the error but not gives the zero error. So as I told that it reduces the error, say in the graph we have shown that the error is nothing but what is the actual value. Say for example, this is the actual value and this is the obtained value at particular point of time. So as keep on going, see this gap is going to be keep reducing, means it reduces the error but cannot give the zero, zero error. Why? Because I am telling here, so this is the offset error is always present, which I discussed. So it never becomes zero error. So that is the disadvantage of your proportional controller. So finally, it produces always an offset error. So, and also this cannot be applied for any, if there is any changes in the loads also. I mean loads, if there is any change in the loads of in a design of the system. So this cannot be applicable. So we use one more controller called as proportional controller in this case. Proportional controllers, sorry, integral controllers. Integral controller. So integral controller is also called as reset controllers. Integral controller is also called as reset controllers. Why it is called as reset controller in the sense, say if you talk here, due to their unique ability of, it returns the controller variable, it returns the controlled variable back to the exact set point. So due to their unique ability, integral controllers can return the controlled variable back to the exact set point following the disturbance. That's why these are known as reset controllers. And the disadvantage is it tends to make the system unstable because it responds is very slowly towards the producing the errors. That's why these systems are, we can say, becomes unstable in nature. Becomes unstable in nature. So these are the advantages and disadvantages. When you talk about this integral controllers, say we'll discuss. Right. So here, integral controller. So similarly, what we discussed is here manipulated signal is controller output signal or whatever it is, manipulated signal or controller output. We can say controller output, which is equal to m of t, and the error signal is going to be error is going to be e of t. I can say error signal or error. So in this case, how you define this? In this, the output of the controller, that is m of t, the output of the controller, that is m of t. Okay, so if I take the block diagram in this case, so this is the r of t. Similar block diagram you can show here, e of t, and then but controller is changes here. We can say it is a integral controller. So you can show the block gain value or block value. So this is the feedback signal, that is b of t, which you can call it as, okay. So the m of t, the output of the controller or controller output or manipulated signal is changes at a rate. When I say rate, it is the time derivative, right? It changes at a rate d by dt. Okay, it changes. I mean the output signal is changes at a rate. The output signal or controller signal or manipulated signal is changes at a rate, that is d by dt of m of t, with proportional to the input of the controller. Input of the controller is what? E of t. Input of the controller is what? Or E of t, and output of the controller is called as input of the controller is error signal, and output of the controller is manipulated signal. So this output of the controller is changes. This output of the controller is changes at a rate, that is d by dt. And I say rate with respect to time. It changes at a rate, okay, with respect to time, proportional to the input of the controller. What is the input of the controller? That is the error signal. So d by dt, m of t is proportional to the e of t. So if I remove the constant of proportionality, then this can be written as d by dt m of t is equal to some integral constant. We can call it as proportional gain constant in the case of proportional controller. Now it can be called as integral constant or integral time constant in this case. So E of t. So once again, applying the Laplace transforms or Laplace transformation on both sides. So before going to apply the Laplace transformation, I'll integrate on both sides because it is a integral controller. So on both sides, I'll integrate on both sides. So I'm going to get integral of d by dt m of t. This is equal to integral of ki e of t dt. So when I say integral and differentiation are inversely, so this can be cancelled out. I can take it as m of t is equal to ki is a constant, so I'll take it as out, and then integral of e of t dt. So we know that Laplace transformation, applying the Laplace transformation on both sides for this. So L of m of t is equal to ki L of integral of e of t dt. Means I am applying the Laplace transformation on both sides. Applying the Laplace transformation on both sides. So when I apply the Laplace transformation on both sides, so we know that Laplace transform of f of t is equal to Laplace transformation of f of t is equal to, we know it is f of s. So similarly, m of t is written as m of s, and ki Laplace transform of integral I of t dt. In Laplace transform of integral of, say for example, f of t dt, then it can be written as f of s by s. F of s by s is the formula which you need to know. So similarly, ki e of s by s will give the Laplace transformation of integral of e of t dt. So by taking this ki, so this implies ki will become, integral time constant will become, so s into m of s divided by e of s, so which is equal to s in R. You can say it is a m of s by e of s is equal to, we can say it is a kp, right? So s into kp. So when I write in time constant, t is equal to 1 by s, so this s can be written as kp by 1 by s. So if I write in time constant, then ki will become kp by t, because L inverse of 1 by s, L inverse of 1 by s is equal to t. L inverse of 1 by s is equal to t. So this is the inverse Laplace transform. If I apply for this, then I get ki is equal to kp by ti. So this is what you can call as integral time constant. So this is, it can be represented in the form of integral controller. So what are this integral controller is going to do? As we told that it is going to it can be changed. It can be used in the changing load conditions as well, and it can avoid the, it can avoid the error also, reduce the error also. So generally, these characteristics of controller, if we take, the error is going to be zero. Error is going to be zero in this case when the output remains at a fixed value. Okay, the output remains at fixed value. So this is about the what you call integral controller. So now we'll move to the derivative controller. So individually, first we'll discuss about the all the controllers. Then we'll move to the combinational controllers. So derivative controllers. So here, if you talk about this derivative controllers, the derivative controllers are never be used alone. It cannot be as a single. It will always be used with a combination, that is proportional derivative or integral derivative control, like that. So it should be used in the combinations with other modes of controllers because of its disadvantage. What disadvantage? It never improves the steady state error. So the steady state error which are always present in the system, that will not be improved by this kind of derivative controller. That's why it cannot be used alone. And also it produces the saturation effects and also amplifies the noise signals produced in the system. So it amplifies the noise signals also in the which are produced in the system. So that is not required for any control, because we are trying to keep the controller to reduce the noise signals. So here, because of that, we cannot use this derivative controller as a single controller in any. So we discussed about this, what exactly the derivative controller is, and we'll go to this. So derivative controller. How you define this derivative controller is, so similarly that controller output is taken as m of t, or controller input we can take it as controller input. What is the controller input? It's always error is the controller input. So if you take this is the r of t, any block diagram which represents the system, that is B of t, and which gives the error signal, that is the input for your controller, which is a derivative controller, okay, and which gives the m of t, okay. So manipulated signal, that is the controller output of the controller, and this is called as input of the controller. So according to the definition, the manipulated signal, that is m of t, the manipulated signal m of t is changes, the m of t changes, the manipulated signal is directly proportional to the, this manipulated signal is directly proportional to the time derivative of, time derivative means it is nothing but d by dt, time derivative is nothing but d by dt of the input of the controller. What is the input of the controller? That is e of t. So it is the time derivative of the input of the controller. So manipulated signal, in this case derivative controller, manipulated signal is always directly proportional, the manipulated signal is always directly proportional to the time derivative of the input of the controller, time derivative of the input of the controller. So that says that m of t is proportional to d by dt of e of t. So when I take out the constant of proportionality, which can be written as m of t is equal to kd, we can call it as derivative constant, we can call it as derivative constant, okay, kd into d by dt of e of t, d by dt of e of t, okay. So m of t is proportional to k, d by dt of e of t. M of t is equal to kd into d by dt of e of t. So when I apply the Laplace transformation for this, apply the Laplace transformation for this, L of m of t will become L of kd into d by dt of e of t. Okay. So we know that L of f of t, L of f of t is equal to f of s, and L of d by dt of e of t is equal to, we should have, of course here I am neglecting the initial conditions, I am writing the, by neglecting the initial conditions, s into e of s. Equation I am writing because by neglecting the initial conditions. These are the two equations. So but this implies now, by looking at these two formulas, I can write m of t is equal to, I can write as m of s, and kd is a constant, so I can write as d by dt of e of t is equal to s into e of s, s into e of s. So now I can write kd is equal to m of s divided by s into e of s, s into e of s. This is what we can write in the case of derivative controllers. So derivative controller generally what we call in this depends mainly on the time change. I mean, as I told, that time derivative of the error. So it is depends on the time derivative of error. So this is about the derivative controller. The advantage of this derivative control action, because as it is not single, I mean, used by alone, so it can be used with the combination, as it is can be used with the combinations. It will respond to the rate of change of error and can produce the significant corrective action before the magnitude of the actuating error becomes too large. It will control the error, and it will control the error with respect to the this one. And the derivative controller is also actuates the actuating error and initiate an early corrective action. This derivative controller has an advantage of takes the early corrective action, and so that it increases the stability. So that because it takes the early corrective action, because of the early corrective action, this improves the stability of the system. This improves the stability of the system. That's what he has mentioned here about how the mathematical table written. And advantage, the major advantage of this control is to improve the transient response of the system. That's what we can say. It is a stability of the system is improved. Stability of the system is improved because of quick reaction, quick corrective reaction, I can say, because of quick corrective reaction. So now coming to the combinational controllers, as I told that all the individual controllers which has their own disadvantages, so we can go with combinational controller, which are called as either proportional plus integral, proportional plus derivative, like that. Okay, proportional plus derivative, like that. So when you look at this proportional plus integral controller, proportional plus integral controller means I'm going to combine this two controllers. One is the proportional controller and as well as the integral controller. So now we'll go to the how this works. So PI controller. PI controller. Right? So in the PI controller, proportional plus integral. So it is a combination of, as I told, that combination of. So here the manipulated signal, I can write directly, that is m of t is a proportional plus integral. Proportional plus integral. So just now we got it. What is the proportional for proportional controller? What is the manipulated signal value? That is kp into e of t. Kp into e of t. So what is the integral controller has the manipulated signal equation, that is m of t is equal to ki integral of e of t dt. So this is what the additional. So when I write the block diagram here, I need to mention this both controllers, that is proportional plus integral, p plus I, and gives the manipulated signal, this m of t. So here this proportional plus integral is going to be added. So these two parameters, because it has its own error and it has its own characteristics and it has its own characteristics, which we discussed now. So when you combine these two, we can manipulated signal, which is a proportional error signal, added to this integral error signal. So we can write as this is kp into e of t, and also we have mentioned that kp can be written as ki can be written as kp by t. That's what we have written, kp by t. It is a time integral constant, or you can say integral time constant, kp by ti, and the integral of e of t dt. So we have rewrite the ki value in terms of kp, So then I can take out the m of t, and I can apply the Laplace transformation on both sides. When I apply the Laplace transformation on both sides, so I'm going to get a Laplace transformation of m of t is equal to Laplace transformation of kp into e of t plus Laplace transformation of kp by ti integral of e of t dt. So we know that this kp is a constant and kp by t is also constant. We can take it out and then apply the Laplace transformation for the time domain function, that is e of t and the integral e of t dt. So for that only it is enough applying the then Laplace transform m of t. We know that f of t, just now till now we have discussed m of t can be written as m of s, which is equal to, then kp is a constant, then Laplace transform of e of t will become e of s plus, we know that kp by ti is a constant, and integral e of t dt is nothing but e of s by s. So by using this equation, I can write m of s. So I can take out the common here, kp and as well as es. Kp and e of s, I can take it as common. Kp and e of s, I can take it out common. So I'll get 1 plus 1 by ti into s. Okay, so if I take out common, I'll get kp and e of s 1 by ti into s. So this is if I write in the form of m of s by e of s, which is we can call it as transfer function, means the output divided by input. So transfer function is defined as output response or Laplace transformation of output divided by Laplace transformation of input is called as transfer function. So what is the output here? M of s. So then E of s. So transfer function is of this particular system is M of s by E of s can be written as Kp into 1 plus 1 by Ti into s. So here you can write the block transfer function value as Kp into 1 plus Kt by Ti into s. So this is how we can write in this mathematical equation of this proportional plus integral control. And we'll go to this is about the additive combination. As we told that proportional plus integral, we have added both, and you can say that integral time. So what is the integral time is nothing but it is the time required to add an increment of a response equal to the original step change of response. So this is about the proportional controller. Then we can go to the PD controller. So proportional plus differential, both together we can call it as PD controller. So proportional plus derivative. So all these we can call it as composite control modes. Composite control modes. Mainly the advantage of this control, generally proportional and integral and proportional derivative. So you not to have the combination. If you have the combinations, you will get the advantage of both the controllers. Advantage of both the controllers. That is why we use the, say if you take the PI controller, it improves the steady state accuracy. PI controller, if I take the PI controller, which has, it improves the accuracy. It improves the accuracy because it has its own advantage, because the proportional is going to be has the offset error, and the integral action is going to reduce that error, reduce the offset error. So it improves the accuracy, and as well as it increases the rise time. It increases the rise time also, and bandwidth of the system is also decreases here. Decreases the bandwidth of the system. Bandwidth, as we discussed in the last class, is a range of frequencies. Bandwidth of the system. Okay, for which the system will give satisfactory output. A range of frequencies for which the system will give the satisfactory output is called as a bandwidth. So it decreases the bandwidth of the system. Okay, it makes response more oscillatory in nature. Because of the PA controller, the response of the system, this is what you can call as a response curve with respect to time. So more oscillatory. This is called oscillatory behavior. This is called as oscillatory behavior. And we discussed one more is exponential behavior of the response. So we have two kinds of, one is the oscillatory behavior and the exponential behavior of the response of the system with respect to time. So it improves it makes the response more oscillatory in the case of PI controller. It makes the system more oscillatory in nature. So that is what the advantage of this PI controller, and it can be application point of view. We talk about here, it can be removes the offset problem, because the proportional error has the offset error. Yeah, disadvantage is with the offset error, proportional controller. So if I use the PI controller, it nullifies the offset error problems. So that is why wherever offset error problems are there, we can use this kind of PI controllers. Okay, and also slow changes in the load. Suppose this process must have lately to prevent the oscillations. Changes in the load would become slow. So if we want to if we want to prevent this kind of oscillating behavior, we can say changes in the load can be done relatively slowly. And proportional derivative controller, when I talk about just now, we'll discuss about this PD controller also. PI controller. Okay, PD controller we are going to discuss now. So it is a combination of PD controller, PD controller. Okay, so the name says it is a combination of proportional plus derivative. So here I can write this equation of this PD controller and the block diagram of this PD controller. So if you take proportional plus derivative controllers, you can write as M of T. Proportional is what? Kp into E of T, right? So derivative, we know that. What is the derivative controller we have got? Just kd into d by dt of e of t, d by dt of e of t. So this is what the actual equation of, by combining proportional. This is the proportional part and this is the derivative part. So by adding this combination, we can say it is called as proportional and derivative control. Proportional plus derivative control. So if I draw the block diagram of this, and then which gives the error signal, that is E of t, and I have here P plus D. I have here P plus D controller, and which gives the manipulated signal as M of t. Okay, so here if I write M of t in terms of Kp into E of t, and this Kd, if I want to convert this into in terms of Kp, so it will come as Kp into Td, Kp into Td, then d by dt of E of t. So now we can apply the Laplace transformation on both sides. Apply the Laplace transformation on both sides. So Laplace transformation of M of t is equal to Laplace transformation of Kp into E of t plus Laplace transformation of Kp into Td into d by dt of E of t. So now applying this Laplace transformation, I can write as, so M of s is equal to, because Kp is a constant, it will come out as a Kp, and Laplace transform of E of t is equal to E of s plus Kp into Td, both are constants. So I can write as Kp into Td. Then we know d by dt of E of t is equal to, by neglecting the initial conditions, we have a s into E of s. S into E of s. So this is the transfer function of this controller can be, transfer function, as I told that, the Laplace transformation of output divided by Laplace transformation of input. The Laplace transformation of output is nothing but M of s, and the Laplace transformation of input is given as E of s. So I can take out this Kp and E of s common in this equation. Kp into E of s is common. So I'll get 1 plus Td into s. 1 plus Td into s. So if I take out this, M of s by E of s on the right hand side, which gives the Kp into 1 plus Td into s. 1 plus Kp into Td into s. This is what the PD controller. So proportional plus derivative controller. Proportional plus derivative controller. So here, and we talk one more controller, that is PID controllers. So before that, I'll discuss about the characteristics of proportional and derivative controller. Okay, so here mainly the proportional and derivative combination will improve the damping. It improves the damping. This proportional PD mode improves the damping. Improves the damping and reduces the overshoot. As we told that there is a overshoot present in the system, so that can be nullified by using this PD controller. So improves the damping, so that the overshoot will not be there. Overshoot will not be there, and reduces the overshoot. The overshoot, we know what is meant by overshoot. It is striking the maximum value of the output. Striking the maximum value of the output at the, when the time increases in the first time only. In the first time only. Okay. So here is also overshoot is there. This is called undershoot, and this is called overshoot. So here is also overshoot is there. So this is called first overshoot, second overshoot, and third overshoot. So in the beginning of the overshoot, that is the first overshoot, it should be reduced. It should not go to the maximum, touching the maximum value of the output. So say for example 5 volt, which is required 1 volt, it should not immediately when the control system is on, then immediately it should not go to the 5 volts and coming back to the 1 volt. So that is what you can call as overshoot of the system. So this overshoot has to be reduced. So this can be done by using your PD. This can be done by using your PD mode. And it reduces the rise time and makes the response fast. So reduces the rise time. So we'll discuss what is the rise time also. Reduces the rise times. So here for rising from means from here to here, 90% of the output. If reaching the 90% of the output, this is called rising time. Okay, from 0 to 90%, how much time it required to reach 90% of the output is called as a rise time. So it has to be reduced rise time. So with this help of PD controllers, if I reduce this rise time, because reaching the 90% is taking a lot of time, then it cannot easily reach the response. I mean output. So that's why the response will become fast. So if I reduce the rise time, response will become fast. Okay. So one more important here only the problem is it cannot eliminate this offset error. So this is what you can call as offset error. So here the PD controller cannot eliminate this offset error also. That is the one disadvantage. But it has a improves in the damping and reduces the overshoot. Reduces the rise time and response is fast. So in such cases we can use this kind of and also it is not very this PD it is not very effective. It is not effective for very important point. Not effective for lightly damped system. Lightly damped means there is no damping, very less damping. If you provide this PD controller will not work. Okay. So with that today I'll stop and quiz is enabled. Okay. Please enter the USN in the chat box. All of you enter the USN in the chat box. Some of them have not entered till now. So I'll stop and I'll discuss the PID controller in the next class. I need to get 43. So go to the Google Classroom and then the quiz is going to be enabled at 12. How much time right now? It is 12:35. Yeah. So your quiz is enabled right now. Enter the USN.